Hi there. Thank you, Norris, for your very nice appreciation of our Chalmers School of Entrepreneurship. My name is Mats Lundqvist. This is my first time uploading anything on YouTube. I'm a professor here at Chalmers in entrepreneurship, but also the co-founder of Chalmers School of Entrepreneurship way back in '97, and it's thereby long-standing director. So I'll try to answer this question of yours, which I think really hits the nail. The biggest challenge, I would say, is about the recruitment and sustaining of good faculty. So I'll kind of try to give a very quick answer, and then for those who want to go deeper, I'll have a longer answer as well. I think the quick answer really is to look at different types of entrepreneurial roles within the university, and seeing the difference between the students being more like venture creation entrepreneurs and letting them loose to learn from that is one role. Another role that I personally feel I've taken a lot is that of the institutional entrepreneur. So looking upon yourself as someone wanting to build something within the university and thereby also affecting the university is I think, an important dimension. And the third role that then needs to team play with all the two others is what I would call more the academic entrepreneur, or the entrepreneurial faculty person that is willing to be part of this entrepreneurial practice, but yet has key interest in actually helping the venture creator entrepreneurs or the students to reflect, and also hopefully this kind of faculty is also interested in doing good research from the fantastic kind of environment that we have. So that's the short answer, and there are tensions between these roles, but I think you need all three, and you need to recognize the difference between the entrepreneurial faculty person being more in the background but still enabling good reflections, and then the students being out in the field. And I think you also need to have very much one or two or three institutional entrepreneur people that are all the time trying to co-evolve the program with developments in the university, such as new incubators, seed financing, working with top management and the policy making, etc. Now, that was the short answer, so you can turn it off now. I can go back and give a bit more history and also try to make it more complicated. I mean, I think to make it complicated, really, when we started the program in '97, we had background. Myself had from operations management, new product development organization, and was a lot into community practice thinking and theories. So I always looked upon venture creation as something embedded that is kind of a practice and a special kind of practice. And my reasoning then was very much using also good socio-technical theory, saying basically, that you should work in teams. You should look at entrepreneurs as team persons, not as individualists, is one main choice. And a second one is to work towards, there's this expression, minimal critical specifications. Now you would call it minimal viable product, which is kind of cool, but in those days we called it minimal critical specifications. So we, from the beginning, said that it's not about our students taking courses produced by professors. It's about creating a path and creating convergence points where the students will then pitch and show what they're doing and will have to synthesize and make sense towards us as teachers about their entrepreneurial journey. And this sense making and articulation is really where I see the academic side making most of its contribution. A lot of the actual action can be done without necessarily having faculty too much around. There you need to have the ecosystem and all the entrepreneurial practitioners that we have always embedded our programs with. We're talking incubator people, we're talking seed financiers, we're talking, of course, after a few years, the alumni are critical to enable the good progress. Now, to complicate things, of course, when you start a program in a university, which is a professional bureaucracy, everybody wants to have their course. So I've had to stop that and been pretty hard against any such tendencies in order to really have people on board throughout these years that are willing to go with the flow rather than wanting to have their teaching assignment and their course and their curricula. That simply does not fit well with having a full-fledged venture creation program. So there's the challenge, and this has taken us years to then figure out a way to solve. Now, what the secret has been to initially do this with a kind of tightly knit team of teachers. Many were PhD candidates in the early days. And then gradually, when you found the right persons, such as Karen Williams, who came in 2004 from Babson, you then try to build around such persons who add this really very important reflective component, and also adds this interest in doing academic research around the actual entrepreneurial journey. But remember, we started in 97, so it took me 7 years really to find some kind of ground, and now we have a really nice group of 3 associate professors and then myself being the core faculty. But also we've made the PhD process slightly different. So bringing in people like Martin Lakeos and Pam and Christina, and hiring them more as project managers pursuing a PhD rather than traditional PhD students, gives us a more experience-based kind of platform also to do what we do. It's really comparable then to running a medical, like a heart surgery operation in a medical university, I would say. So you need the clinicians who also pursue PhDs and want to learn from the clinical practice. You need that kind of person. They are not very common, and it's taken a lot of time, but once people see how cool it is to be in this entrepreneurial ecosystem and figure out ways to study it and make good sense and make good research out of it, I think this is going to fly more and more. And I think today, compared to just 5 or 10 or 15 years ago, this is really happening. So now we have such a nice situation of more and more faculty wanting to associate themselves to the living practice that we have, the entrepreneurial practice that we have here. And I really see tremendous scalability and developments in the near future based upon this achievement. So if you want to start a venture creation program today, we already have a community. We can already help one another. We can, avoid some of the mistakes that you easily can do. And hopefully you can have this diversity of persons. And I will repeat where I started. You need to recognize that the venture creating students, they have their mission. They need to shine. They need to be on stage. They need to create value. Everything is built around them. We should spoil them. And sometimes it's hard to do that because as a teacher, you're in the background all the time. But you still need to be in that background. Otherwise, we're not doing our job. And then finally, you also need to recognize the identity of more of the institutional entrepreneur. I think you need to have that as well. That's my experience, and that's very much who I've ended up being as well, making sure that our school is legitimized and part of the developments at Chalmers and in the region. In Sweden, I would add as well, and now even more internationally, is extremely important as well. So those 3 roles are not very much the same, but they need to team play. That's where I started, and that's where I'll end. And this is almost 9 minutes, so thank you, anyone who's listened all the way to this point in time. I'm happy to answer any questions, and I'm sure I missed out on a lot of things because there's so many aspects to this. All right, let's create some value together. Bye-bye. Over and out from Mats Lundqvist at Chalmers University of Technology, Chalmers School of Entrepreneurship, Gothenburg, Sweden.